So, just spiders, that's it? I guess they're like ice spiders, but without the Gestapo tactics. Oh, what? On the surface, there's nothing about 2000's spiders that makes you think it'll be anything notable. Most B-tier movies from this time aren't. The direct-to-DVD market around this time was still booming, but most of it was the equivalent of video game shovelware. Cheap trash pumped out to feed a market hungry for movies. You glance at the cast, and the only name that jumps out is the lead, who would go on to star on Once Upon a Time and spark the imagination of what seemed like a third of my Twitter feed at all times. This early role for her doesn't exactly scream quality, though. However, the film is directed by Gary Jones, who directed the mid-90s creature feature Mosquito, a film that builds upon its absurdity and eventually won me over in the end. Spiders ends up being similar in a lot of ways. Well, that's only one spider, but okay, I'll allow it. Also, these guys are doing the special effects, so color me intrigued. She plays a college student named Marcy, who writes for the college newspaper and is an alien conspiracy nut. Her entire workspace is nothing but alien investigation stuff, and it would seem like the entire newsroom is devoting all its resources to working with her on her insane theories. The spider from the opening scene ended up going into space, which is the story Marcy was supposed to be covering. You'd think she'd be interested in the plight of the space spider, but instead she and half the newsroom are stalking out a military base because people came into her office purporting to be aliens that made a stop there after arriving on Earth. I swear this all feels like a lost early X-Files script. Problem with that, though, is that by 2000 everyone was sick of the X-Files. Yeah, it's true, don't at me. Meanwhile in space...
I'm injecting now. Oh my god! Oh my god, where'd he go? Oh my god!
What just happened? Our readings are going through the roof.
Oh my god!
I don't know what the hell they do to this spider, which they've given the codename Mother-in-Law, but it causes absolute chaos. Apparently they got hit by a stealth solar flare the second they injected the spider with something, which then leads to the spider trying to murder everyone. The evil government takes control of the shuttle, tells the public it burned up upon re-entry, but in fact it crash lands right where the conspiracy chuckleheads were camped out to see them aliens.
What the hell? It's a UFO.
No. It's the shuttle.
Whoa.
This feels like a Disney Channel movie, but with gore.
Oh my god! What the hell happened here?
Dude is jacked up.
The bad guys then show up, and then, well, okay, so much for that spider. The dude squished it.
Move it. What happened to Mother-in-Law? Can you hear me? Talk to me. What happened up there?
From this point, it's a lot of sneaking and transporting and hiding, and then roaming around the basement of the secret base where our Hardy Boys Nancy Drew leads keep finding rooms with spooky things in jars.
Must stop Mother-in-Law.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Of course, that dude has been suffering long enough, and...
What the hell are you doing in here?
This is how you do mayhem on a low budget. Just goddamn chaos and everyone screaming their heads off. This commences the running around this basement part of the film, where the spider keeps trying to Shakma its way into whichever room our heroes are in at any time.
It's like a bad sci-fi movie.
Oh, movie, don't do that. Don't call yourself out like that. It was a funny joke in Top Secret, but that's it. All this does is make the audience say, haha, yeah, this does suck. They find evidence of an Apollo 18 mission, which never happened. Also a box with the Kennedy assassination inside it or something? None of these developments matter.
What are we gonna do now?
Oh, God! Look out, Marcy! Hold on, buddy, I got you! Don't let me fall! Hold on! Ow! No! Your history now!
I mean, what on earth? One flaw of this movie is how everyone's so flippant and antagonistic during all of this.
They lay their eggs in living flesh and reproduce asexually.
There's something you can relate to.
Up yours, butt wipe.
Every scene has dialogue like this. Focus, people. Okay, this is like a Nickelodeon show. And they've implemented Itsy Bitsy Spider into the score? Seriously, I don't know if I love this or hate this. This feeling like a kid's show production makes it all the more hilarious when characters swear.
So what are you gonna do if you find it? I'm gonna kill that fucker. Damn right.
Well, now they're just straight up using that spooky sound effect from the X-Files. There's honestly something goofy or notable in every single scene of this movie. This video could be 3 hours long if I was insane. After the main bad guy gets dispatched and the spider gets squished by an elevator, the film wraps up, except that there's still 20 minutes left. Thankfully, the movie decides to make the most of it, and it goes goddamn nuts. Bad guy was dead, but he's back and somehow managed to beat our heroes back to the newspaper offices, where he's managed to shoot the newspaper's editor in the head without anyone in the newsroom hearing it. Okay, fuck everything. This movie is amazing.
Hey, Phil, I need your sit.
Look out! Look out! Go, get out, get out!
Duck and cover! Get out of here!
Duck and cover? What the shit, lady? That's not gonna help anyone. Every scene in this movie is insane. So now there's a giant spider rampaging through town, and there's stunts, and there's chaos, and it's all great. This is great. I'm all in now. They're literally doing the hut 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 thing. The spider's at the Staples Center, and while flying around in a helicopter, Marcy, the college newspaper reporter, decides she knows how to use a rocket launcher while tied to a rope hanging out of the chopper.
Stabilize! Jeez!
Yeah, you stupid helicopter, jeez. Anyway, it's an amazing setup to a joke to where she misses wildly, but there's only a couple minutes left in the film, and so of course she blows the spider to bits. Look, if all that doesn't motivate you to watch spiders, I don't know what will. Just know that for every goofy-ass thing I pointed out, there are 2 things that I didn't. This is one of those movies I wish we'd discovered on the Bamfcast first, because good or bad, this thing is a lot of fun. Oh well. Also, it should be noted that while the film is called Spiders, and there are multiple spiders during the course of the film, there are never 2 spiders on screen at the same time. Just pointing this out in case you have very specific spider fetish needs.